Hello and welcome back to the Hyperspace Podcast. My name is Sam, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, it's Michael Gosh. Michael, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Currently sorting out some moving stuff, but taking a bit of a break as well.
Yeah, that sounds exciting, but not as exciting as the episode we had today. Today was episode 14, War Mantle. One I thought was going to be the last episode, but it wasn't, and thank goodness it wasn't, because it finished on a bit of a cliffhanger and it left a lot of questions. Michael, what did you think about the episode?
Well, I'm sure, as we saw from your reaction last week before you realised this it wasn't the penultimate episode, that the fact they've started building up to this finale is a good sign. It's a lot of interesting developments. Sort of along the line of what we said with our predictions, although there was a few surprises in there.
Yeah, there were certainly a few surprises. I mean, we had a returning character.
I was
In the
expecting.
Clone
I
Wars.
think I may have. I think we may have mentioned him in a previous episode, and we expected him to come in. So, not as unexpected. I think it's just unexpected it happened like that, and it was him then.
Yeah, it's nice for them to fill in some of the story gap that we had with his character. That character, of course, being Captain Greyer. But yeah, let's get started. Break it down. So. We start on Dara, a planet on the Outer Rim, where we find a clone being chased by these creatures and troopers. We don't see what the troopers look like, leaving a bit of mystery. But yeah, we find out that later that is Captain Gregor being chased down, and he gets captured before putting a distress beacon down so that he can be tracked. I kind of want to talk a bit more about Gray. I mean, we did actually talk about them.
We talked about him and Wolf.
Yeah, I think we lean more towards Wolf being
Mm.
given a story, but it's awesome that they're adding that. Like, because they didn't need to do this. They could have just done like a little comic or a book and just filled in the gaps there. It's nice that in TV media that they're actually filling in a gap, and we see that the Bad Batch have actually been so influential in so many bits of the Star Wars universe.
I'm sure we'll get onto it when we get there with the episode. But there was a few bits and pieces here where we saw sort of what happened, what he was doing beforehand, what he's doing now. You know, sort of how he moves away from the Empire. But I'm sure we'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah, we will. But then we have Rex communicating with the Bad Batch. I did say that Rex would return. I mean, I know it's for like a split second, but he's back.
You want a big prediction here? You ready for this?
Go for
the
it.
Space exclusive. They're going to use Rex next season.
Do you think?
This is my insider info, and we're going to call this section again merchandise speculation. The speculation is that their rumors have it and leaks have it. As far as I can tell, it's only rumors and leaks. They're making a Bad Batch version of Rex, an action figure, which means he's likely to show up in more than just those 2 episodes. So that's my
that would be
sick. That's my opinion.
Cool.
There you go. It's a little bit of merchandise speculation, as I like to call it.
See, I personally think that he will return this series, but I'll get on to
we'll
that
see if
later.
he does. He's definitely got to return within the next 2 episodes. I think possibly he'll be the sort of character they'll just put him at the end, maybe, and he'll reunite with Gregor. And I wonder whether Wolf will be in the next episode now as well.
I've got some speculation. I'm going to save it to the end of the episode.
Yeah,
I'm going to save it to them. But yeah, we have Rex communicating with the Bad Batch, ask if they could help his friend as he's tied up. He's probably doing some I don't know what he's doing. He's possibly finding other clones, spying on the Empire. He definitely tried to keep a low profile despite doing the hologram. So yeah, he's all tied up, and he's asking the Bad Batch for help. after a big discussion and Wrecker saying they've got a point about 3 times.
We saw Echo simping for Rex. He's just like, yeah, I trust Rex. I trust before we go on this mission.
I mean, he did that so many times this episode. He's done it in previous episodes as well. Even ones with Rex not in, he'll just be like, "Oh, I trust that man so much." He's a Rex simp, I think.
But speaking of simps, I was expecting Gregor at the beginning of the episode when I didn't see too much of his face. I thought it was Hauser.
So was I. No, that's
I was
so
really
weird.
excited because I was really excited. Like, it's Hauser. No,
Yeah.
it's like I could see that it wasn't him. Like, and the armor doesn't match anyways. But I was suspicious because you couldn't see he'd taken off the bits of his armor that had color or would have had color, which is why I was like, oh, maybe it is Hauser.
Yeah, it's certainly interesting how many clones are rebelling against the Empire. It's getting to a point where Order 66 happened about probably a few weeks and months ago, and they're really turning on the Empire. We started the Bad Batch by being like, oh, we don't like the clones anymore, but now we realise that a lot of them don't like the Empire and are trying to rebel.
It seems to be the more independent ones, not the large majority of them. So it like Hauser is like a small minority, and I think although the Bad Batch is highlighting that, I wonder how widespread it really is. Since we've only encountered 2 clones, and over the course of the show, we've seen many more than that.
Yeah, that's true. It's definitely more of like the individual ones and the few others that Hauser, when he got captured, there are a few guys in their white armor that rebel. But yeah, I think you're right that it's more the individual ones. It then cuts back to Camino. I speculated this that in War Mantle this should happen, and where the Empire are mobilizing every clone. The Kaminoans' contracts have been cancelled, unsurprisingly, and the Prime Minister wants to escape. My question is, where are they mobilizing these clones? Because there are so many on Camino. Where are they going?
I had this question in mind for you. I was going to say, where do you think they're taking them? Because I wonder if it's to reinforce planet, but I doubt that's the case. I wonder if they're being moved off to facilities to start training the Stormtrooper Corps.
I just don't.
But there's so many of them. It seems unreasonable. That's what it's for.
Yeah, there's so many of them. Some of them are literal kids. We saw the like the little cadets walking past. They're not going to train the stormtroopers, are they?
No, but the other question with the cadets is we know that the Empire doesn't use them, and I know there's accelerated aging, but they have another 2-3 years before they're ready to go. Yeah. At least 2-3 years for even with accelerated aging, which makes me wonder, like, when did the Empire actually phase out stormtroopers? Because in like we're going to talk about the Ahsoka book because this is probably the best knowledge I have of like early Empire. She questions whether whether the stormtroopers are clones or not.
Yeah,
which means that likely even even after a year of the Empire, there still are clones around. They're just much rarer, which makes me wonder whether they are really being mobilized to train troops. Because not the kids, but the other ones maybe, because it seems like so many of the clones are phased out after 1 year. They are not that much older after 1 year, even with accelerated aging. They probably have at least 3-4 years in them to continue serving as like a peacekeeping force, which makes you wonder, like, what are they planning, and what is going to happen, and is there going to be a clone rebellion? Which is my big question. Is that why so many of them seem to be missing?
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I am very confused by where they're going. I hope it's explained. It probably will be. It will probably be explained where they're going, but I can just imagine them phasing out just immediately, just like putting them all in ships and dropping them into like a plane of lava or something. Just massive.
I think even the Empire isn't that wasteful with resources, though. I think that what they'll do is they're more likely just to, like they're doing, the halting production and just keep the ones they've got. And basically, I think in Legends, what happens is the clones get diluted with regular humans, not and what happened. That's what's going to happen. And we'll see. We'll have to see. And it may well be the case we see it in Kenobi, as well. We
Yeah.
may well see it in Kenobi because rumor has it that Cody will be in this, and if so, I think he's said to be an Imperial instructor, which means we will likely see bits of this. If they choose to show that, they could well show it, and we'll have a better understanding of the whole picture. Otherwise, maybe it's a job for seasons 2 and 3 of Bad Batch if they happen.
Yeah, no, it's certainly be interesting. I hope it's explored in several bits of media. We then get the Bad Batch arriving on the planet with Tech, Hunter, and Echo, the ones that are going to scout the planet, while Omega and Wrecker wait on the ship. Wrecker's pretty fine with it. Omega, of course, wants to go with them as the wide-eyed kid. Of course, they want to go on adventures. I don't really blame them. They find an Imperial base in a mountain, which is a really sick-looking Imperial base, with the first stormtroopers, all led by a clone commando. Hunter and Tech want to leave, but Echo's faith in Rex persuades them to stay. So we have Echo's simping for Rex, keeps them there and reminds them that it's very similar to when they rescued Echo from there. Apart from the fact that Anakin was there, I think that's another point. They had a Jedi. they literally had a Jedi. I'd argue the situation is vastly different.
I guess the thing is, though, do the Bad Batch really need a Jedi? I mean, you see where the advantage of having a Jedi would be, but do they actually need one? Probably not. Or if you ask some people, they've got Omega.
We'd ask that. Yeah, no, that's true. Omega's force sensitive, so they do have a Jedi.
There we go.
Yeah. But yeah, do they need a Jedi? I think they'd have needed a Jedi in this episode. If you're thinking,
yeah, they were okay. There's some certain situations. You know, I think when they found Gregor, they would have been able to when they go and find him, they go and knock out the guards. What they could have well done is just have the guards escort them all out of the prison.
Yeah, and spoiling the end, Anakin could have also caught
Hunter.
He could have force caught Hunter, just saving him from getting captured. So I think it could have been very useful in this situation. But that's a tangent. I also think that it's so good to see. I spoke about it a few episodes ago how I'd love to see clone commandos used more in Clone Wars.
Yeah,
and we finally got loads. There's loads of them.
You know what's strange is I recently been playing Republic Commandos, and now here they are. I'm hoping they'll do something with the clone commandos a bit more in the Bad Batch, and we see not just Gregor, but maybe a squad of them, not do Order 66 like in Republic Commandos, and I think some other media maybe there's a couple of there might be other clone commando teams, but yeah, we see Gregor's wearing clone commando armor as well, and that we see how many hits they can take as well.
Yeah, they are sturdy. I mean, they took one of them took 4 or 5 before they actually collapsed.
It was stun shots, wasn't it? Though, to be fair, but yeah.
Yeah, and we found out that stun shots don't always immobilize people immediately because Greg got shot twice by stuns.
He was wearing commando armor, so I wonder if that's what it is.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
He did start limping as well after he got shot.
Yeah, it's sick though that a clone commando armor can stop stun bullets, which we haven't really seen much before. We then have the Batch infiltrating the base, rescuing Gregor, but when they try to escape and try to use the machines, they've been reprogrammed, so they set off an alarm. Tech, for once, not getting technical. He did something wrong in a technical standpoint, which we haven't seen yet. But yeah, everything's been reprogrammed to Empire settings.
And we talk about this quickly. We see stormtroopers. I'm going to call them stormtroopers. I'm sure they're going to get a canon name, but the armor is different. It's closer to stormtrooper armor than I think the Phase 2 is.
Yeah, it's early days stormtrooper armor, isn't it?
And it's for all the non clones.
Yeah, it's certainly. I think it looks quite good. It's weird, but it looks quite good.
It makes them distinct, which is nice as well.
Yeah, and the Bad Batch, of course, very distinct. It seems
Yeah,
like their armor almost gets darker every episode. I don't know why, or it just looks like they're next to like bright white armor. They're so distinctive, and I
yeah.
think that's really useful to like distinguish between them. I mean, it'd be easy to distinguish anywhere, but their armor is just so distinct. We then have like some Gregor saying some things. Gregor saying, despite training the troopers, he didn't teach them everything. And I'm sure that's a nod to the fact that they can't hit a shot for days. That is 100% a nod to that, because everyone always refers back to A New Hope,
Mm.
where Obi-Wan Kenobi goes, "These blasts too accurate
Yeah.
for sand people. These are
Something.
Imperial troopers."
Yeah, and you know what's the thing is though? I think it's because the main characters in the original trilogy had plot armor,
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
whereas because you do see in the Mandalorian they're bloody ruthless, the stormtroopers, in that, and they're not as well trained as they would have been otherwise.
Yeah. No, there is definite plot armor, but then when the films are made in 1970s, I mean,
Yeah,
not much you can really do. But yeah, that was definitely a nod to them not being very accurate, which I thought was funny. After a shootout, Gregor is hit twice, but recovers, and he recalls when asking if he's all right, being blown up, saying he survived that. So that was another nice little nod to the Clone Wars. I don't remember what specific
it's
episode, but the one with the droids.
yeah, that's George Lucas's favorite arc, at least, isn't it?
Yeah, he loves that art. I mean, it's sick to see a clone commando in that. I mean, it's probably not my favorite arc, because I'd like there to be a bit more. I don't know, clones. It's sick when they yeah. I think that episode's sick in the art, but I don't know. For me, it's not my favorite art. But yeah, that was another cool Easter egg. The Bad Batch and Greer try to escape by being picked up by Wrecker and Omega. Omega happy to finally be involved, and she's taking control of the ship, showing that
Yeah.
she's becoming a really useful pilot. And hopefully, we could see that in future Star Wars medium. Meet maybe her and Harrison Dula. Some more of that. That would be cool to see. And
Uh, Potentially
nope,
she's gonna potentially Hera will be in Andor.
that would
So
be
it's
so cool.
rumors have it for Andor or Ahsoka.
We love rumors and speculation. That's what keeps it interesting. Just speculating. But yeah, that would be really cool, because Harrison Dula is such a cool character. So when trying to pick them up, Tech, Gregor, and Echo get on the ship but are chased away by Imperials. The ship starts losing power after being shot. But what Omega has been working on for so many episodes, the Gonk droid finally shows its purpose and repowers the ship. We had a plot point that no one was actually interested in, but they actually ended up using it. I thought it was just going to be like there for the
You
rest
know,
of the time, but
you
we
know,
finally see it used.
we're gonna talk about small plot points. I don't think people notice. So this is from the beginning of this episode. You see, like Hunter spinning the knife on his fingers, and
Mm.
then as Amiga is fixing Donkey, you see her like try and copy him and spin the tool.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that.
That I thought that was a really nice moment because she like watches him like very like awestruck, and then she tries to copy it.
Oh, well, to be fair, Hunter is Omega's idol, and
He's such a dad. He's
oh,
such a dad.
he's such a dad, but he's such a cool dad.
Yeah,
He's a
he's a cool
really
dad.
cool
Yeah.
dad. But yeah,
So
when
it's a little bit of a tangent.
yeah, a bit of a tangent. When they try to go back, they can't quite get Hunter. Hunter makes a jump for it, and I was like, oh, he's going to do a really heroic holding on, but he doesn't. His fingers can't hold on for long enough, and he falls down the bottom of the mountain, somehow surviving. Bit of plot armor there, but we live with
They
it.
are genetically enhanced, to be fair, and he is a lot stronger than a reg, to be fair.
Yeah,
I know, definitely some plot armor, but I'll give him that.
yeah. I mean, there's
Yeah.
plot armor and everything, so it's no need to like nitpick with it. But yeah, he falls to the bottom of the mountain and he commands Tech to escape while he gets captured. Omega, of course, very hesitant. Quite an emotional moment,
Mm.
and they escape. They get blast into hyperspace, leaving Hunter. We then get a flashback to Camino. Rampart finds Narmasu gathering people to leave. Rampart wants to keep her, but the Prime Minister's services were not needed, meaning she's definitely dead, or she's not going to be seen again anyway.
They closed the door with the two well, I don't know,
Troopers.
the elite squad or whatever,
Yeah,
the non clone troopers, right? And there's 100%. It's the one with the flamethrower and the one with the larger the larger rifle. I forget what it's called.
yeah.
But yeah,
They
that
they're
was
dead.
insane. Yeah, they're dead. They're either dead or they're gonna be like, dead soon.
Yeah, it's interesting that Rampart kept Narmasu. I think we might ended up seeing her in future projects, and she could be one of the scientists that started looking at cloning, because we know Palpatine was looking at cloning in case he died a long time before he actually died. Maybe she was involved with that.
We'll talk about something. I keep hearing this that Dave Filoni is going to basically decanonize the sequel trilogy, or he's going to make like a multiverse, a Star Wars multiverse. I
Amazing.
think people have been watching a bit too much of the MCU at the moment, thinking about this sort of,
Oh,
it's
multiverse of madness.
yeah. I don't think it's also. I think it's all a load of nonsense. I don't think Disney wants to do it because they've already invested in like Galaxy's Edge and all this all of the material they're probably going to try and do with the sequel era.
It's also quite disrespectful to Rian Johnson's and J.J. Abrams' work and time if they're like, we've made Star Wars movies, but they're just not gonna like be canon.
Unless they do like I guess that's the same as Legends material. So Disney have done it before. They'll do it again.
I think that
Um,
what I reckon they're doing is I think they're using these shows, and I think that Disney have actually confirmed this. They're using these shows to add detail to the sequels and add plot to try and fix plot holes and try and add beef up the story a bit. And I think they're doing that partly in the Bad Batch, definitely.
yeah, we'll have to see what happens with that. I think that vision of the Star Wars stuff, which we talked about when we talked about the future of Star Wars, that vision is going to take years to pull off.
Yeah, no, it certainly will. They're gonna have to use a few series to do it, but I think that they could possibly do it. I reckon in maybe a few years, 5 years, we could like the sequel trilogy a lot more. It happened with the prequels when Clone Wars came out. That made people like that trilogy a
I
lot
think
more.
the difference with the prequels is the prequels had good story, but maybe like bad writing, right? Bad
Yeah,
dialogue writing. But arguably the characters were very strong, like they were very
yeah,
well written. Whereas the sequel trilogy suffers from the complete opposite: bad writing, bad story, but like honestly incredible acting. Like you look at Daisy Ridley, I think she portrayed Ray really well, but then I don't particularly think Ray is a strong character, or like she doesn't really hold a light to even like an Ahsoka, who, let's be honest, if we're gonna put it bluntly, she's from a kiddie show, you
yeah.
know,
Nah,
right? And I love the Clone Wars, but that's the if people call it a kiddie show, you look at that and they produce that, and then you look at Ray and they have this bigger budget and they have this entire trilogy to give her, and they don't pull it off. You have to wonder why one works and why one doesn't. And it's the same with many characters, to be honest.
mm,
Just the actors were fantastic. Just I feel the writing suffered quite greatly. I think the thing is that you can tell the prequels were a labor of love as well.
yeah.
You know what I mean? They've got the heart of Star Wars, even if they're not perfect movies, as we all know.
Yeah, no, certainly. Ray definitely, or Daisy Ridley definitely gets way too much criticism for
No,
Ray.
I think the thing that's a great shame is that she got cast as Ray, in that
Yeah,
she deserves a good writing. I think honestly, I would kind of hope if they ever did do this rebooting that they go and cast her as Ray, but someone goes and writes Ray again.
yeah,
I'm not
that'll
saying
be
that
good.
will never happen,
Yeah.
but if it was going to happen, I'd want Ray's. They can keep the character of Ray, but they go and get someone to rewrite it, and it's a sort of like retelling. You know what? The problem is that this actually sounds really good, and this would be a way to appease the sequel fans and, well, sequel dislikers, right?
Yeah.
Because if they did a retelling of it that was faithful to, I guess, this feeling of Star Wars, how Star Wars is, they would that would be a good way of doing it. And when I say retelling, I guess it would be more like a alternate universe. Now you know what, the multiverse sounds pretty good to me.
All of a sudden, the multiverse sounds
Like,
perfect. But I think Daisy Ridley has said
yeah,
she'd be keen to, if she got invited to future Star Wars projects, she'd be keen. So I think possibly coming back. But yeah, as you said, like Adam Driver, amazing actor. John Boyega's a great actor.
fantastic,
Oscar Isaac, amazing actor.
fantastic, yeah.
And so it wasn't their fault. I'd compare it almost to, this is a weird, it's not that weird of comparison. Jodie Whittaker, Doctor Who. She's a great actress. She's a
Not,
really great actress, but she's been written terribly.
yeah, yeah. No, I was a big Doctor Who fan. Not so much now.
Yeah, well, it's fine. They're leaving. Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker are leaving, so it's fine.
It's
It's
only
good news.
downhill from here, anyways, and it has been for a while for Doctor Who.
It can't get worse. The only way is up.
The thing is, I liked Peter Capaldi.
He was
Complete
great.
tangent. I liked Peter Capaldi, and I thought the writing, he suffered the writing, but he was able to carry it
Yeah.
until was it when Stephen Moffat was backing away, the writing got a lot better.
Yeah, I really like Peter Capaldi's Doctor because Peter Capaldi's amazing. He's just such a great actor, and I
Just
think
think of
he's a
I
great
think about
Doctor.
him in Paddington for some reason. Just imagine him as like Mr. Curry all the time.
Oh my goodness, I'm possibly going to see him in Suicide Squad tonight. So I'll let you know
Oh yeah,
how he acts in that. But yeah, he's got, that is a massive tangent.
tangent. Yeah,
But yeah, similar situations. But yeah, getting back to the
back
storyline.
to the episode. Yeah,
Yeah, back to the episode. It ends with Hunter in prison, and Crosshair arriving to say he was expecting the whole squad, but he will do. End of episode. What will he do? Why will he do? What is he going to do with him? Michael, go. What's happening?
I'm not sure what Hunter's gonna. Oh, you know what? I actually have an idea.
Go
I was
for it.
wondering. I wonder if they're going to try and put an inhibitor chip in Hunter
Ooh.
and try and control him. I don't think it's going to work, but I wonder if they're going to try this because I don't think, by the sounds of it, if they wanted to kill Hunter, they would have just shot him on sight. He was swarmed, just shoot him. Crosshair is not going to kill Hunter, and that's something we already knew because, well, he carries the show
Yeah.
a little bit. I think they all carry the show a little bit. It's an ensemble. They can't really afford to kill any one of them at the moment. Um,
Yeah.
so that's my possible theory. I think that would be really interesting, but most likely he'll just be used as some sort of leverage to try and get the rest of them.
No, I actually really rate that theory. Actually, I think that could be possible. And then we have Hunter. That I think they put it in, and he's kind of brainwashed. But then he sees Omega,
Okay,
and it
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
doesn't work. I think
But
that's a sick theory.
I think the thing is with that is I love the idea, and as I like I was saying, it sounds amazing. Just don't know how much they're going to want to pursue that because they
Yeah,
did Wrecker. They already sort of did that line with Wrecker. I'm hoping they do that instead of them sort of use him as leverage. I just think that using him as leverage is the most likely thing that Crosshair would do, especially as the Kaminoans aren't being involved and the Empire isn't particularly capable of that stuff, unless, right? the reason why Lamassu was kept alive was for this.
Oh, maybe that they said they needed a doctor or someone of
Medical.
her
Yeah,
ability. It would be
yeah.
useful. So that's definitely
That's my
possible.
theory then.
I think the episode will either end on the planet they were on this episode, which is called Daro, or it'll end on Camino. I think it's one of the two.
I think it'll either, if it doesn't, it will at least end on a Camino flashback, or there'll be, you know what I mean? There'll be a cut
Yeah.
to Camino, because we can see the stuff that's going on Camino is very important at the moment. And I wonder where Tarkin is. Just a
Yeah.
little something for you to think about.
Oh, there we go. Something to think about. Maybe we'll this series will end with Sid trying to find Hunter because her mission wasn't complete and she wants her money. So maybe that's what it ends with.
Sid's
'Cause
already had her episode.
yeah. Oh, I didn't mention it earlier, but they decided to help. They decided to help who you find out to be Gregor instead of doing a mission for Sid. So
Oh,
maybe might see her again. My theory is that they will go to Rex and be like, "Here's Gregor, but Hunter's been captured," and Rex will join them with Wolf, who's already like
That's where
kind of
he's been. That's where he's been this episode.
exactly. That's where he's been this episode, and you get the three of them with the Bad Batch trying to rescue Hunter, and Omega does something probably. She'll have a big moment in the last two episodes, 100%. I'm not sure what that is, but yeah, I
I
think
think it
they'll
would
join.
work. If that is the case, it would work. Both what you've said and my theory would work well, and Omega would have her moment.
It would literally be perfect. I mean,
Perfect,
our
yeah.
theories are into lots, and what would be even better is if they were like, "No, we need one more," and then they go get Hauser.
Hauser. That's what you know. What that's what I want to see. I want to see Hauser next episode being rescued. I want at the end of the episode, I want to see Rex and Worf get together, and during the flashbacks on Camino, we see them trying to implant some sort of control, like maybe not a inhibitor chip, but some sort of control chip into Hunter. And in the
Yeah,
last episode, Omega's able to stop that working.
it would be
There you
like
go.
it would be like a Bad Batch Avengers. I mean,
Yeah, it'd be amazing.
It would be so cool if you got all them, and then last minute when it's all going wrong, you have Hondo fly in and save the day.
Well, unfortunately, there's not. My merchandise speculation doesn't work with Hondo, unfortunately.
Oh, that is gutting.
I know it's gutting. We just gotta hope. But although Hauser, he is going to come back.
Yeah,
That's
100%.
he's 100%, 100% going to be used again, and 100% I think Rex will be used again. Whether or not it is this season, I don't know. I'd like to hope it's this season, and it makes sense for it to be this season. But considering how sparsely he's used in this episode, I don't know if he's going to be used. I kind of wonder whether he's going to be used like Ahsoka was in Rebels, where
Yeah.
he has his like complete standout moments and then gone for like half a season.
Yeah.
Or like it's just a hologram for for most of the season, or like has like some briefings or something.
Yeah, it would be cool if they're back on Camino and they need to get they need to capture or get Hunter back, and they're off doing a mission and Rex is on his own and he just sees Cody. He just sees Cody along the room and they have like a standoff. That would be sick. I mean,
Yeah, that would be awesome.
100% unrealistic, but I'm pretty sure Cody was on Camino as an Imperial trainer, so
We'll see.
could happen.
We'll have to see. Either he's on Camino, or he may well be at these new locations training the Stormtrooper Corps. But we'll have to see what happens with him.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting times though. I don't. I finished the last episode and I was just like, that was underwhelming, but it was a filler episode, so fair enough. This episode has got me very excited
No, that's good.
for the end of the series. This is going to be good. This is going to be great. I cannot wait. Final thoughts on the episode, Michael. Final thoughts.
Same as you. Excited for the next the last 2 episodes we're gonna have.
Yeah, last 2, and it's going to be great. But yeah, that wraps up our podcast. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, comment what you think is going to happen, and comment your thoughts on the episode. It's getting exciting. You're going to need to stick around to hear our thoughts on the dramatic, I'm sure, last 2 episodes. But yeah, thank you for joining me, Michael.
Yeah, thank you for having me again.
No worries. I know you're very busy today, so we're lucky to have you. But yeah, like, subscribe, comment, notification bell on, and as always, may the force be with you.